Oh my God, Enrique, are we finishing the season 3? Is it true?
It's true, we made it till the end. This feels like a marathon, and we have the last kilometer over there, so we're not going to stop running until we get there. Doesn't matter how, right? Hi, Peter. Good morning.
Yeah,
Happy
hi
Friday.
Enrique. It's really great to see you. This is exactly what I was expecting. So I'm running on the, guys. Just for the people who don't know, I'm just, of course, I always have a backup for streaming, but I have also backup for the backup. So right now I'm running on the backup of the backup to make sure that we can connect. So great to see you guys.
Fantastic. Well, so excited to close up the season. Today is gonna be a different episode. We are gonna put on hold interviews and so on. They will come more on the next season. No worries about that. But today we have a live interview, something we tend to have more dynamic, and it's gonna last for the 30 minutes we usually have. And we have our special guest waiting for us on the waiting break room. So we're gonna welcome him in a few minutes. Should we just call him in, or want to say the promotion thing about subscribe and blah 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 before?
No, let's get him in and we
Let's
will
get him
just
in.
get together because he's the expert. He is priceless. So just let's get him in immediately.
Perfect. Benjamin Talin, Ben, hello and welcome to the BIM Cafe, man.
Thank you very much for inviting. So priceless, that's already a great introduction, right? So
Yeah, come on, man. We know each other for the last 2 years, and you help us with a lot of different points. So, thank you for being here with us today. But it will not be different. We will ask you the difficult questions about the digital transformation and,
oh yeah, that's good.
unfortunately, construction.
Hit me hard. Show me the digital transformation questions.
Yeah, we're gonna go for it, Ben. So first, allow us this breaking minutes for publicity, and you're gonna help us. If you point out your right top corner, guys, you will see the subscribe button there, the QR code. Go to the YouTube channel, the BIM Cafe. You can watch this interview and all the ones during the summer. What we said to go to the beach and listen to our voices all over and over, and give us those all those views and likes. And also, don't forget, we have our newsletter as well in LinkedIn. These episodes coming up. Sorry, Ben, I'm going to hide a bit of your mouth for the newsletter coming out every Friday. This Friday coming out the last one, okay, for the season, and more content coming up. So go to the YouTube channel, the BIM Cafe, and also the newsletter in LinkedIn. The content will be there, always available for you. So sorry to hide your mouth, Ben, for that and for this policy break.
I got shut off. Subscribe.
This is how we try to influence our guests when we're putting the band on the mouth and saying no, you don't talk. But guys, really thank you very much for the number of subscription. I think 10,000 LinkedIn. This is really good number, and it coming from the pure organic growth. So which is again once more, thank you very much for that. This is the quality exchanges also we have on the background, which is great. We have a lot of questions about the HR. So I'm just thinking about, about the career. What about the digital transformation and career? So this is great. And also on the YouTube, thank you very much for coming in and subscribe. I think we reached some magic numbers as well, Enrique. So this is really good for us just to see how we can just go forward with it. And it's confirmed the model. So thank you very much, guys. The season 4. It will be fantastic, but the season 3 was also very good. And let's talk about it 2 seconds, Enrique.
Yep. So Ben, first of all, like we do on all of our interviews, I'm gonna give you the mic. I'm gonna lower down a bit the music. If you don't want the music, remove it. But I'm in a happy Friday holiday mood, happy also as well. So I'm gonna keep a bit of music on the background. I feel like. So introduce yourself to our guests, as we always do. Tell us a bit who you are and what you are doing at the BIM Cafe. How come you are here present?
So what I'm doing is a long list. Pretty much, I'm just always going against the stream. So, entrepreneur since I first had my first entrepreneurship experience with 13, let's say. Never stopped messing up industries or messing up my own stuff. So that also happens. So for me, it was always like, how can I use technology for transforming something? So it's like it's like the digital transformation per se, but for me it was always just fascinating, like that can be done better, and that's pretty much my career. Yeah, and I published some 100 publications then around digital transformation and change management, etc. And in the end I founded MoreThanDigital, and yeah, this is also quite a small initiative. I would say we are now one of the 15 biggest business knowledge platforms in the world. So that is also a frustration project. So how can I give more people access to information with just giving them information? So,
Well,
Piotr, you are.
I don't know what happened there, Peter. You just suddenly went to Spider-Man in a way. It will come back. Remember that Peter is on the backup of the backup. No? Maybe this is
Yes,
because I put the.
that's how it works, guys. So I don't know what's happened, but this is life. So let me turn off the camera if I can. No, I cannot turn off the camera.
There you
So
go.
this is fantastic. Okay, let me just reconnect, guys. Keep going, and I will reconnect. Okay.
You're fine now. You're fine. I think
Yeah,
you're
now
fine.
it's fine. Now it's fine. Don't move. Don't do anything.
Okay, I
Well,
cannot see
Ben,
anything, so this is great.
welcome to the BIM Cafe live. This is what happens on the live, right? This is our first live interview, and I think we are all three with a smile, so I think at least it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I hope the people who are watching also have some love. So let's kick in after your presentation. This is the type of profile that we need on the construction industry, entrepreneurial people who work with the technologies and want to do digital transformation. So let me ask you the first question directly. I don't know how deep is your knowledge in the construction industry, but I will tell you for this super famous McKinsey report, bottom three industries in production with agriculture and hunting and fishing. Okay, this is the state of the industry since years ago and still hasn't changed so much. The technology is arriving, the rise of the AI and some other tools and methodologies like BIM are helping to start to move this massive machine, but this is like trying to move like operating a crane. I have one in front of me right now. So it's not simple to press a button. Actually, a crane is going to work like this, but you did more than that. No? So the machine is starting to work a bit. And the question to you is, why it's taking so long in the construction industry to kick off with the technologies?
I mean, pretty much that's a hard and simple part to explain the whole thing because I mean we have digitalization since the 1960s, 1980s, or 1990s for the masses, let's say. So still 90% of companies, for example, in Switzerland, there was a representative study, is still 90% of companies are digital dinosaurs. So we still have 30 years of digitalization, but still most companies are digital dinosaurs. So for them, they don't do anything. For them, it's not relevant. For them, it's like the maximum what they do is like we have a new computer, and that's what they are doing. So they are sometimes even having no website. They're just having no, maybe an email that is kind of like more common, but still, I mean, just look how many companies still have a Gmail address or whatever. So the proficiency level is very low. And why the construction industry takes longer? Because the need is not so high, because construction industry was working pretty well without being disrupted. For example, the IT industry needs to move fast because if you're not moving with the IT industry, you're being overturned. So pretty much after 5 years, you can close your business if you're not doing anything in the IT industry. After 5 years in the construction industry, you're still fired. You can still say like, yeah, my paper works. That's okay, and that's the difference. So the urgency and also the importance is different for different industries, and we see that also for example, for machineries, for machinery production, they have very long cycles, they have long investment cycles. So for manufacturing companies, it's the same. They have very long investment cycles. What they're doing, they're playing 20, 25 years. So for them, it's not an urgent matter like for IT, where you say like, okay, we need to plan for 1 year or for 2 years, and then we need to reinvent ourselves and then go forward. So that's why construction industry has a very low urgency in most cases for themselves, because the disruptive potential was, let's say it was, now it's changing drastically. It was not there, and so they didn't need to react. So as long as it's not hurting, because we change only when we have several factors in place. We change when we know and we understand it, when we have the resources to do it, when we have also the drive and the inner action to do it, or when it's painful. And usually industries only change when there is pain in the market. Just see how the automotive industry is changing. Not digitalization wise. Digitalization wise, automotive industry was always highly optimized, etc. But the pain now to actually change away from gas-powered cars to actually EV battery, whatever, BEV vehicles, the pain is there, and suddenly they need to move. And this pain needs to be built up to actually move also the construction industry. And slowly we feel that the pain is also coming to the construction industry.
Yeah, no, but I think, Ben, you're right with this. But when you look at the pain, I think first of all, I think that I'm just in Europe, we're dramatically looking for the productivity, right? Everybody talks that we can just grow, we need to find the productivity. This is 1.5, I think, trillion euros business in Europe. And if you would like to find the productivity, that's the place to make it sure that the Europe will just go forward. The second, the pain is there, we are missing the housing. We are missing the part of the places where we can just put the people, the insulation as well. We have the houses which are not well isolated, so we're losing the energy. So I think we have a pain points there, but I'm not sure if you know how to really just turn them into the movement, into the something which goes.
The problem I see there is actually we have different forces in the market contradicting themselves. For example, there is a housing market bubble fueled by actually investment bankers and shortages that are artificial. For example, a good friend of mine, I don't name the name, but he is investing. Pretty much what they are doing is they're building whole apartment stories. They build like a whole area with apartments. There's 300-400 apartments there. They sell about 1/4 of the apartments, and 3/4 of the apartments will never be sold or rented out. Then they go back to the municipality and say like, yeah, you need more houses. Okay, give us cheap ground because then we build the next park in there. So then you have 3/4 of this house empty. Then you build the next park next to it. The whole price of the whole area goes up. So the 3/4 go up and they have the next thing they do there. So pretty much that is also just artificially fueled market. And that is also what we see, for example, in London. In London, we have, for example, almost 50% of the houses are empty and not being rented out because there is speculation on top. So there is like a market dynamic that is a problematic that is fueling this housing crisis because per se, according to a study what I just read, we don't have a shortage of housing. We actually have too much housing. So if all the artificially created housing would be on the market, the whole market would be crashing. So that's a different story. That's why also.
Okay. I'm worried. I'm worried after your discussion.
Yeah, and the next problem is also, I mean, the construction industry is facing a shift, let's say, yes. But the problem is also the prices are going up, so there is not more investment. So the 1.5 trillion is pretty much a fixed asset in the market because pretty much everything is fueled by debt. So you have this debt crisis also coming up. So when you look at this 1.5 trillion, you cannot optimize the income stream. So the construction industry cannot per se become 50% more effective because with a given price per square meter. Huh?
Oh, hello? Oh, Peter disappeared. He's coming.
Yeah. What happened?
I will be always here with you guys.
Okay. Hello, Peter. Sorry.
Yeah. So for a set price of square meters, there is not more demand at the moment who can actually pay for it. So the 1.5 trillion, they are pretty much the fixed thing. You cannot just suddenly say like we have 30% more money in the market. So construction industry needs to become more efficient, but it's more an efficiency within the market that takes market shares away because you cannot substantially grow the market itself. Otherwise, you need to have a completely new financing and restructuring there. But the finance market, due to rising interest rate, is also pretty much breaking down. So you have a lot of different forces being in play there. And of course, the European Union comes in, for example, with new energy laws, with new energy transition laws, etc. That fuels this fight within the market because the 1.5 trillion now needs to decide, do we actually renovate old houses or do we buy new houses? Because you cannot afford, the whole market in itself cannot afford to do both at the same time because there is just limited money supply, right? You cannot force somebody to renovate the house and buy a new one.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. So let's get away a little bit from the money side, from the process perspective.
Yeah.
You have the fantastic platform which you are helping the people just to show where they are in the digital transformation, and this is we are partnering and we're working on it together. But this is when you look at the different industries, where are just the place where you will just try to right now to put more emphasis in where you can get the most benefits quickly out of these transformations right now? Which industry, which businesses, which country? When you look from your experience?
So the most countries, I mean, the sad thing is the biggest country, I guess, for digital transformation potential is Germany, because they're just lagging behind so much. It's almost sad to say it like that. But of course, I mean, when you look at different industries, it's always depending what you want to transform. So there are certain industries where the disruptive potential is very big. So you have a very good, so what I always call, there is like a model between, you have a lot of players in the market who just survive. So you have players in the market who are doing more expansion. So they're trying to actually capture market share for an existing product in an existing market. And you have some companies who are actually transforming the market. For example, construction industry, due to the scaling effects of using technology the right way, you can actually be a very, very critical mover in the construction industry space. Because, for example, most of this construction industry is not really good at digital marketing. So the potential, for example, to disrupt the industry by having a new, completely new marketing and platform or an ecosystem based approach is very high, that you have a success in actually disrupting the industry there. For example, it's very hard to disrupt the IT industry because there are so many players. There is so much going on, and a lot of people who are investing into this transforming. So you always need to see, depending on the industry, you have a different proportion of people who are just doing what they always did, people who are doing a little bit more and I want to expand, and people who are really putting emphasis into transforming something. And I guess when we are looking at different markets, the potential in different markets for different industries is always varying a lot. And what we are putting emphasis in is actually go for the undervalued market in the moment, because what we especially do is give people in the SME space, because we have a disproportional big disrupting potential when you go into the lower categories, because the higher you are, the bigger the company is, the more they are spending already in some other stuff. But the construction industry is very big gap between those who have like 50, 100, 200 people, because usually the people is also not like administrative people. It's usually workers on the ground, like construction workers and iron benders and whatever. So they have a very big proportion. But already if you have 200 people, you are big. So that is something that you are already big. But you have maybe like 5 or 10 people in the office. So that you get disrupted and that you cannot focus on building a platform and a digital community and whatever is very high chance, compared to an IT industry where you have 200 programmers who are not doing anything else than trying to actually disrupt the industry. So that's a different proportion. That's why I say you need to look at the industries from this way.
Yeah, the one funny thing is just you just when you look at the different episodes, one of the theme which coming very often to when we talking to our guests is the what we call it the clean guy on the construction. So when you have the construction site, usually it's pretty dirty. It's a lot of dust, sand, whatever, the danger, and there you have sometimes you can see there is one guy who is really clean, very well wearing, which is wearing all of the security the tools just to make sure that he's but he's carrying also now for example the iPad with him, and this is the guy who can just do the stuff on the construction of the plants, etc., because there's only one who can just do this in the clean way. So that's a lot of jokes about the clean guy. So we don't know how to convert the whole construction site to be a clean place to work, as you mentioned, with the 200 IT guys, right?
I mean, it is possible. We see disruption coming from several places in the construction industry. For example, when you see all the prefabrication, that is also
Right.
the clean guide job. When you also see the upcoming machinery that is pretty much 3D printing stuff, that is pretty much 3D bending stuff, 3D pretty much everything stuff. So there, the clean guy will be kind of like the tech nerd doing the robotic stuff. And pretty much nobody needs to fuel the machine because it does it on its own. Yes, we are some years away from that. Yes, it will take some time that it's actually mass market ready. But we also see the impact actually for the construction sites, but also the costs. That's why I say you can disrupt the industry from within. So the 1.5 trillion are set. But if suddenly you can create 5 times more space for the same money and amount, you are suddenly very efficient, and you become the clean guy becomes suddenly the biggest enemy of the dirty worker.
No, but that's a very good point, and I think the modularity. I think this is what you highlighted here. It's very very important, and that's also just requires some of the transformation of the different market process, right? Because if you think about the modularity, it means that some of the guys need to start working together upfront to make sure that they can prepare it, they need to connect their platforms from the supply chain perspective, for the demand, the managing the request perspective, fulfillment, and everything like this. So this is something which is, I think, really coming into the play. Modularity, I think it's a good one. We have a good debates during this season with the architects saying just, I would like to be the architect and I would like to create the nice things, but from the other side, from the efficiency perspective, the modularity is the way going forward. So how to combine these things, being the artist and being efficient, and just making sure that you can deliver the quickly the stuff for the clients. So I think that was a good one.
But that's
Enrique.
actually what is possible. I mean, we have different sides coming from that, because we have a generation which actually isn't really keen on having big spaces. They don't need that much of this standard living what we have. So they're not really striving for the house in the green in the front of the city. So what they want to have this modularity, but also this personality. So a lot of futurist studies point out that people want to live in smaller places, in smart places, so they don't have really huge running costs. They want to also have sustainable living. So that is also coming, that they say, I want a smaller space, which is using less energy, less consumption of resources and whatever. But also, how can it be then also personalized? And when we really look into the whole supply chain, when we think it further and say, like, how can we make small spaces that are, I mean, I want to have it bended. I want to have bended roofs, and I want to have a little cave system, whatever. Yes, we can do that. For example, the ETH has also great projects how to 3D print complex structures of concrete. And that is very interesting example, because it's cheaper to produce than bricklaying. It's modular, so you can actually design it as a designer. You have the fixed design. The design will be put then into a production, and then you can pretty much put it together. So you have a very small and very personalized space what we can do there. And if the whole industry and the whole supply chain is actually working together, we have a great example of how to make something more sustainable, how to make it more customer friendly, how to make it more personalized, and how to actually integrate the technologies what we have into a functional business model. Because just imagine if you also spin it a bit further and go into generative AI, that you literally tell it, like, I want to have an apartment which is avatar like in a cocon, whatever, and I want to have it in this color. And in the end, it generates this picture. The picture will be then transferred into building plans, and the building plans will be transferred to machinery, and the fixed and ready parts are being delivered to your home, and suddenly you have the avatar-like experience at home. So if we really come from this perspective of the user perspective, I want to have something unique, which is not costing me a fortune, then you can really disrupt the construction industry by just leveraging what we already have. So it's nothing new what we are having. So we have already the technologies there.
Very good. So, Enrique, one question to you. You know, we are preparing the new season 4. Do you want to play quickly our teaser for the season 4? Is it a long one, or is it the short one?
No, we have here 1 minute breakdown. This is something we are saying more and more, that the new technologies are what is driving more interest from our audience. And we're going to play, Ben, a quick teaser with the people from Cemex Ventures. We have the pleasure to have a first talk with them, and we will be our guest for the next season, and the main topic we will run on the season. So we're going to play the video. They're going to tell us the 3 main pain points or technologies where they're putting the money into. So that means that where the interest is going to be there, and we're going to see, analyze, and close up the chapter of the season with our final thoughts on that. All right?
Okay, let's go for it.
Right, let's go.
The key 3 main technologies which you think will bring the revolution into the market in Europe. Construction market.
I mean, it's we always look more actually for pain points and solutions, right? That's what's driving. We're always looking what's the problem we want to solve, right? But I think obviously we're looking at
what are the 3 pain points? What are the 3 main pain points on the market today?
So right now, the main pain point is a lot is sustainability. So that's a new dimension in BIM, obviously, so it has to be combined with in BIM. We're looking also as well at productivity tools that are helping us with improving the productivity of construction, obviously, as there's still a gap with other industries. And the other problem that we're trying to solve is how to find new methodologies and new materials to build also more efficiently, right? Because we believe there's a fundamental problem with how we build today, and there is new ways to build that can help us increase significantly in productivity.
Okay. So you said sustainability is one criteria, the productivity is a second, and also just looking for the new material, new innovative solutions in terms of the construction and building it. Great. So I think this is the 3 points.
So what do you think, Ben? Of course, sustainability is a big topic, agenda for 2050 in Europe, and everyone always talking about that. It's a buzzword, people really care about it. What do you think the intentions are going there?
In general, the big driving forces, that's what I already mentioned there, is also, sustainability will be a big driving force because it's also coming from EU, it's coming from governments, it's coming from pretty much also the social side itself. Technology will be one of the main drivers because it's always there. Technology will improve, so technology will always be faster than we are, and then companies are, and then governments are. So that's why we will see a lot of disruptions coming, but also slow. And we always need to have it kind of like cooked on a low flame, because also generative AI, no, it's not costing us jobs. No, it's not really that transformative as everybody does, because ChatGPT is still hallucinating. Shit, sorry for the language. But it's pretty much hallucinating stuff. So it's not going to change anything much. Yes, it makes some parts more efficient. That will have some other things. And that same will be also for the construction side. So that's why I think that their predictions are perfectly right. What we see is the biggest disruptor will be the change of living of people. So that will be one of the biggest driving forces for the whole industry, because people will change to live in a different way. And when you look at Gen Z and their new value proposition, then this will have the biggest impact on the market.
Yeah, I think you bullseye. This is great point which you said. I think the changes of the way how the people live right now, and we know we operate in the different companies. We discussed it before. Right now, we're living mainly with the backpack. Right now, with the one part of our whole inventory with us on our back, and going through the different places, helping the people, working with the people. So the whole environment will change. I call it this, and maybe this is the hypothesis which I start to drive it. This is really the post-COVID changes. It's not about the going back to work. I think this is the fake, really, the discussion. Do you need to go back to the office? The people wants to have the some kind of structure, but I think how they want to live, how they want to spend the time, etc. This really the biggest change after COVID, and it's nothing with the working from home or working from the office. Is the way how I would like to spend the time and how I would like to benefit the life really with the value which I'm adding. So I think great points, guys, which you made it here.
Yeah. And it's also, we also need to see for what do I spend money, because back in the days it was like this high class of I need a big house, I need a big car, and that is pretty much it. And I just live for that. And right now the shift towards I want to have a good life, and that doesn't mean that I need to have a big house and a big car, is different, because what I want is to have a cool living, and I want to have mobility. And that is also what maybe construction industry will change significantly, because it's about living in a place and not owning the place. It's about the experience of a place and not about constructing a place. So I think one of the biggest changes there will need to be that you look at this from a user experience perspective, what you have in a digital world as well. So what is the experience what I have? Because nobody cares, to be honest, nobody cares about bricklaying. I wouldn't care about somebody pouring concrete in some caskets, etc. Nobody cares about that. But what I care about is what kind of living do I have there? And that comes also to the sustainability. People are worried that their house is going to kill them. And we had asbestos. We had all of these things coming in the past. And we have this thing that people want to have a better life, but they don't care about this construction. And that is until construction companies understand this, that it's just about the experience. Like I said before, I want to design an awesome place, but it shouldn't cost me a fortune, and I want to have it now, and I want to have it easy. And that is easy, and it shouldn't kill me.
So I think, Enrique, we need just to hire Ben just to come and just do the conclusion for all of our editors, because that he's really very good on concluding.
We can make a closing chapter, closing remark after every episode. Ben's comments, no? So you want to wrap it up of all of our talks. Now, but interesting here, I will summarize it saying the construction industry, whoever is that entity, needs to listen to the people what they want, because this is changing places of life and work, and this is important. If they listen what they want, the industry will change, because they cannot just keep producing the same type of houses or offices or buildings, because people are using them in a different way.
My God, the season 4 will be fantastic. Thank you very much for Ben for joining us. The season 4 will be about the context, so just as everything related to the construction company and technologies. We are just counting on our friends from the different venture capitals, and we started already with the Cemex to really put some of the ideas who we can interview. But the idea will be really more about this, as you mentioned, guys, during our speech, to our discussion today, pain point technology. So, that was we talk about the money, we talk about the process, we talk about everything. Right now, we will focus on the season 4 on the technology. Enrique, I think you did a good job. Ben, I think you're hired. We need to talk about the contractual terms.
Remember, at the beginning, you said I'm invaluable, so.
Okay, sorry, excuse my French. My God, negotiation.
For me,
for
me that means a voluntary position. Fantastic, guys. Well, thank you so much for participating in the BIM Cafe. I think we made a record. Apart from mentioning the name, we mentioned BIM only once on this episode, and it's going to be less and less and less on the future, right? So we are going away from just talking about BIM and BIM and talking about digitalization in the construction industry, because this is what we love. I want to try to change the world. Ben, a real pleasure from our side. Guys, a real pleasure to have you. Our holidays are starting now. We are super excited. We're super happy. Look at our big smile here. Enjoy your summer. Don't forget about the BIM Cafe channel. Don't forget about the newsletter on LinkedIn, and please also take a look on the content which is published on MoreThanDigital.info. There you have all the access of the digital transformation content that Ben is also managing on the backup. So please feel free to check it out and contact him if you want to participate or collaborate in any sort of way. From my side, that's all. A big thank you again from Ben. Enjoy your summer. We will contact you, Ben, again for the season 4 some wrap-up comments if you're more happy with us.
The commentator can the underline, no, that's bullshit.
He said priceless. My God, that's not good. I said it, then he repeated. That's not a good thing. Guys, thank you very much. Ben, thank you. Enrique, thanks for it. And just see you guys after vacation.
Thank you too
everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.